Joe Biden is the right choice. So, I'm going to keep this very simple. If you believe in Joe Biden and you haven't already voted, make a plan to get to the polls tomorrow. Turnout is going to be critical, so get there early. Get there as early as you can. Wait it out, pack food, dress warm, anything you might need. If you're standing, if you want to sit in line, charge your phone. Bring a friend or two, like you have today. Bring your neighbor, a member of your family, and together, cast a vote for your country and be willing to do whatever it takes to stand up for what you believe in. This is your vote, and guess what? We need all of you to vote. I know you've seen the polls, the record number of early and mail-in votes. It's tempting to feel comfortable and confident and sit back. But now is not a time to feel confident and sit back. Right now is time for action. It's time to muster all of our energy, every ounce of us, every ounce of hope and optimism and enthusiasm, every ounce of fear and frustration and discouragement. Now is a time to show up and vote like this country depends on it, because it does. And I want to remind you, listen to me, I want to remind you and all the people who are listening, we all know that this thing may come down to Pennsylvania. We need you. We need your family. We need your friends. We need your heart. Vote like your life depends on it, or vote like your children's lives depend on it, because they do. And to all the women and all the men with daughters and sisters and mothers, everybody, no matter how you identify, now is your chance to vote against Donald Trump, a man who believes his fame gives him the right to grab one of your daughters or sisters or mothers or wives by any part of their bodies. Vote for Joe. He's a good person. Thank you.
And all the folks in Pittsburgh who can hear us, let's make it clear to this whole state, we're going to vote like never before for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Thank you for being here tonight. There's so much on the line for our country in this election. When you consider that we're living through the worst public health crisis in a century, in a jobs crisis, more than 500,000 people in our state out of work because of the failures of this president, we're going to elect a president in Joe Biden who will not just help us build back our economy in Pennsylvania and across the country, but we're going to build back better. None of that is possible, we know, unless we can elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and none of it's possible unless we can implement their plan to tackle this virus, to get the virus under control. They've got a plan, the other side doesn't. We need a plan for Pennsylvania, not just for jobs, but for public health. And what about health care?
You have to help me get up there.
We live in a commonwealth where 5.5 million
Can you hand it to us when we climb up?
have a pre-existing condition. And yet Donald Trump and his party have spent most of the last decade trying to destroy the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act. We're not going to let them do that. We're going to elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Also, on health care, more than 1 million Pennsylvanians got health care through the Affordable Care Act. I want to make sure, and I know that Joe Biden is going to make sure that everyone through the Affordable Care Act. I want to make sure, and I know that Joe Biden is going to make sure that every one of those Pennsylvanians who got health care that they never had before is going to maintain that health care, especially the coverage for so many families. I've been across this state for many years, and especially over the last couple of years, talking to families about health care. And I've met countless families that have a child with a disability or a child with multiple disabilities. We cannot allow these extreme forces in Washington, led by Donald Trump and his party, to rip away those health care protections from a child who has a disability, from a child who might not have health care absent the Affordable Care Act. We've got a lot of work to do to create jobs, to build back better, and to ensure that health care is there for our families. There's only one candidate who can do that. That's Joe Biden. Let's get out and vote, because when we vote, we win. And when we win as Democrats and as Americans, our whole country wins. God bless you and thank you. Please vote.
Please welcome legendary entertainer and Philly's own Miss Patti LaBelle.
Pennsylvania. I am a Philly girl. I've lived here all my life. I'm so honored to be here for the reason we're all here tonight. We all, hey honey, hey. We all have to bring it better. We can do this. We have to get rid of the pandemic. We have to get our jobs back, our homes. Everything has to get better. And the way we can do that is to bring our mothers, our fathers, and everyone to vote because of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. We're going to make it better with them. Can I get a whoop, whoop? Okay? So let's go out and vote, and let's make our life better. God bless you. Thank you. And Kamala Harris will be out here in a minute to show you exactly how wonderful it's going to be. Bye, Philly. Woo! Love you. God bless you.
Please welcome Mr. John Legend.
Everybody, no more sleeping in bed, no more backward thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There is so much hatred, war and poverty. Oh, wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say, 'cause they're the ones who are coming. The world is in their hands. When you teach the children, teach them the very best you can. Hey, hey, the world won't get no better if we just let it be. Oh, change again, just you and me. Wake up all the doctors, make the old people well. They're the ones who suffer and who catch all the hate. They don't have so very long before their judgment day. So won't you make them happy before they pass away? Oh, and wake up all the builders, time to build our new land. I know we can do it if we all lend a hand. The only thing we've got to do is put it in our minds. Surely things will work out, 'cause they do every time. Hey, hey, the world won't get no better if we just let it be. Oh, the world won't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah, just you and me. Oh, yeah. I need a little help. Put your hands together, y'all. Come on. I need a little help, y'all. I can't do it alone. Come on, wake up everybody, no more sleeping in bed. Wake up everybody. Oh, I need a little help. Can't do it alone. I need a little help. Come on, come on. Hey. Oh, wake up everybody. Good evening, Philadelphia. How are y'all doing tonight? That was a little bit of Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, Philadelphia's own, the sound of Philadelphia. I'm so excited to be back here. I want to thank you all for coming out in the cold and hanging out with us. I want to send a shout out. Actually, can you come on stage, baby? I want you guys to see my wife is here and my daughter Luna's here. Yeah. My son Miles is here. We're teaching our young people early. They got to participate in their democracy. We're here to save democracy. All of us are here together to save democracy, right? Hi. I want to do a special song that I dedicated to my wife a little while ago. I wrote this song for my new album. Hi. I wrote this song.
Hi, everyone.
I wrote this song as a tribute to our relationship and the fact that love can get us through all kinds of tough times. And we know that the whole nation is going through tough times right now. We know that Joe Biden personally has experienced so much tragedy, and what I think he's taught us and what he brings to this job, this idea of being the leader of this nation, is the fact that he's resilient, that he has empathy, that he understands what it is like to feel serious pain, and he's able to lead this country out of a serious dark time in our history. And that's why I'm here today. This song is called Never Break. Oh, yeah. We got a good thing, baby. Whenever life is hard, we'll never lose our way. We both know who we are. Who knows about tomorrow? We don't know what's in the stars. I just know I'll always follow the light in your heart. So I'm not worried about us, and I've never been. We know how the story ends. We will never break. We will never break. Build on a foundation strong enough to stay. We will never break. As the water rises and the mountains shake, our love will remain. We will never, no, no, never. We will never, no, no, never. It's more than a good sensation. It's more than a passion fling. You are the explanation of what love really means. It's bigger than you and me. It's 1 + 1 = 3. When we talk about forever, then forever's what we mean. So I'm not worried about us, and I've never been. No matter what may come my way, we will never break. We will never break. Build on a foundation stronger than the pain. We will never break. As the water rises and the mountains shake, our love will remain. We will never, no, no, never. We will never, no, no, never. We will never, no, never. We will never, no. The world is dangerous, throwing all in us. There's nothing we cannot face. We will never break. We will never break. Build on a foundation strong enough to stay. We will never break. As the water rises and the mountains shake, our love will remain. We will never, no, no, never. We will never, no, no, never. We will never, no, never. We will never, no. We will never, no, never. We will, no.
Thank you.
Hush now, child, and don't cry. Your folks might understand you by and by. Just move on up toward your destination. Though you may find from time to time complication. Bite your lip and take the trip. Though there may be wet road ahead and you cannot slip.
Please welcome Doug Emhoff.
You got the music in you. Don't let go. You got the music in you. One dance left. This world's gonna pull through. Don't give up. You got a reason to live. Can't forget. We only get what we give.
Thank you, and hello, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We are going to win Pennsylvania. We're going to win this election, but this election day is tomorrow. I cannot believe it. It feels like just yesterday when we were waiting for that call from Joe to Kamala. And the moment I heard Kamala say, with my ear pressed against the door, I'm ready to get to work, I knew our lives would never be the same. And the next day, before Joe introduced Kamala to the world as his choice, Jill Biden graciously welcomed us into their home. Joe Biden called my parents. He called our kids. He said we were honorary Bidens now. That's just who they are. We share a bond rooted in family and service and the immense responsibility that we are taking on together. And on this journey, alongside Joe and Jill and Kamala, I've had a chance to see America like never before. And the folks I've met and the stories I've heard, they're going to be with me forever. And I think about the families I met all across the country. The mom whose daughter has a life-threatening pre-existing condition and fears the worst if she loses access to her health care. The working parents who urgently need paid leave and affordable child care. The seniors forced to talk to their grandchildren, see their friends, or even say their final goodbyes through a computer screen. The essential workers staying on the job despite shortages of equipment to protect their own lives from this horrible virus. Small business owners, no idea how they're going to make payroll. And all across the country, people are losing their homes. They're losing their jobs. Too many are losing loved ones. This is a country in pain. And it's a direct result of the lack of leadership in the White House. But here's the good news, folks. We have a better choice. We have a better choice. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are ready on day one to deliver the change that we need. They're going to get this pandemic under control. They are not going to fire Dr. Fauci. They're going to stand with Dr. Fauci and science. Science. They're going to expand access to health care instead of trying to rip it away from you during a pandemic. They're going to combat climate change by, again, following the science, but also creating millions and millions of jobs instead of just ignoring it and calling it a hoax. And you know Joe and Kamala believe in equality and justice and fairness for all. And they're going to root out the systemic racism in our government
our criminal justice society, and our society in general. And they're going to follow through on these commitments. You know Joe and Kamala, they're all about family, faith, and community. Joe Biden, you know Joe Biden. He is a man of deep conviction who's faced more than his share of loss, but he's also known lots of love. And Kamala Harris, my beloved wife, I'm so proud of her, but she is the daughter of immigrants and also a proud product of the American dream. And she lives by the words that her mother told her so many times. Kamala, you may be the first, but don't be the last. Kamala Harris has spent her life representing only one client, you, the people. And that's who she and Joe will serve in the White House, you, not themselves, because they've never, and they will never, forget who they are, where they came from, and that's why they're in this race. It's for you. But people, folks, first they gotta win. They've gotta win. And when they do, it will be because of all of you, because of thousands of people out there volunteering, organizing, and the dedicated staff that I've personally met all around this country in my travels. They put everything they have into this campaign. And the millions upon millions of folks out there who are sending texts, making phone calls, organizing their communities. People across the country are fed up, but they aren't going to take it anymore. They're going to stand up and take action, and that's what we've done. You know your vote is your voice, and you have the power in this democracy. And I know this is true for me, and I know it's going to be true for you. When we all wake up on November 4th, we're going to be able to look in that mirror, and we will know we did everything we could to elect Joe Biden as president and my wife, Kamala Harris, as vice president of these United States. We only have one day left, and we need to make this day count. So please, please, if you haven't voted, go to the polls and vote. Tell your friends, family members, neighbors, strangers, anyone, I don't care, anyone who's going to listen. Go to iwillvote.com. Make a plan for tomorrow. Because when we all turn out the way I know we will here in Pennsylvania and all around this country, we're going to elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. There will be light instead of darkness, and together they're going to unify this country. They will restore the soul of our nation, and it's going to be thanks to all of you. Let's win this thing. Thank you so much.
I'ma keep on running, cause the winner don't quit on themselves.
Ten Hail Marys, I meditate for practice. Channel 9 News tell me I'm moving backwards. 8 blacks left, death is around the corner. 7 misleading statements about my persona. 6 headlights waving in my direction. Come on. 5-4.
Please welcome Jill Biden.
for unity. And so here we are, back in the state where we started it all, a short drive from my hometown. You know, I never would have imagined all those months ago that I'd be speaking at a car rally today. But we can be safe and get out the vote, right? Isn't that right, Pittsburgh? And Philly, I see you too. During this campaign, Americans, you have shown me your hearts. Like the educator who said to me, the two most important things in the roles in my life are being a school counselor and being a mom. And right now, I feel like I'm failing at both. Like the nurse who helped a family say goodbye to their grandma over the phone because they couldn't be there to hear her last words. Like the factory worker who told me he was about to lose his job with about 150 of his colleagues. He said, Jill, I'm 50 years old, and I'm going to have to start over. I don't know what to do. Even against the odds, the resilience of our community shines through. And I'm so grateful that you have entrusted me with your stories. I've kept them with me, and they remind us every day why Joe is running.
Mr. John Legend.
Philadelphia! You know I love you too. Some of you know I spent some of my formative years right here at the University of Pennsylvania. I'm a proud Penn alum, but don't hold me responsible for the behavior of all of our alumni. Some of them, you know, they slip through the cracks. Anyway, we've got to get down to business, Philly. Tomorrow, Pennsylvania will determine not only who becomes the next president. Tomorrow, Pennsylvania will determine not only who becomes the next president, but who we are as a country. This has been a difficult year. So many of us have experienced pain and struggle and loss. We've lost friends and family members, jobs and paychecks. Just last week, we lost another black man, Walter Wallace Jr., right here in Philadelphia, to police violence. A man with mental health needs who, just like so many other Americans, wasn't able to get the care he needed. So yes, we've lost a lot. But Philadelphia, what we haven't lost is our ability to decide what happens next. In this election, your vote will decide whether we're a country that allows this pandemic to continue indefinitely or one with a plan to end it. A country where the president would go to court to kick 20 million people off of their health care, or one where health care is a right for all Americans. A country where the president actively encourages police brutality and cannot bring himself to condemn white supremacists or neo-Nazis, or one where we hold our police accountable and begin to root out the systemic racism in our society. A country that is small, mean, selfish, and divided, or a country that is big, generous, kind, and decent. A country where we remember that while we may have different politics and different beliefs, we're all Americans. And that's why I already voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Joe Biden will be a president who doesn't take pleasure in dividing us, but one who works hard to bring us together in common cause and common effort. A president guided not by wishful thinking, but by a belief in science and a commitment to justice. Now, some people see the meanness, the bullying, the selfishness of Donald Trump, and they mistake it for strength, a kind of twisted masculinity. Some see his greed and they mistake it for being good at business. Some of your former favorite rappers have been taken in by these lies. I think they even founded a new supergroup. It's called The Sunken Place. But Trump's platinum plan for black folks is nothing but fool's gold, because you can't bank on a word he says. Ask the students of Trump University. Ask all of the contractors he stiffed. Ask the people his charity was supposed to help before it was shut down for being a fraud. Ask all the black and brown Americans who are dying from this virus and losing their jobs under his watch. The president isn't strong. He's a coward. And his career in business and in government has been failure after failure after failure. We need a president we can trust. That's the kind of president Joe Biden will be. And he won't only reverse the damage of the last 4 years. Hand in hand with Senator Kamala Harris, they will build back a better economy and country than ever before. But Joe cannot do this alone. He needs your help. And tomorrow, he needs your vote. Go to iwillvote.com right now to find your polling place and figure out where, when, and how you're casting your ballot if you haven't done it. And if you've already voted, Make sure your friends and family members have a plan to do the same thing. Remember, you have two options in Pennsylvania. You can vote in person tomorrow between 7 a.m. and 8 p.m., or you can deliver your mail-in ballot in person, don't put it in the mail, in person to one of the drop boxes or election offices located in your county by tomorrow at 8 p.m. And make sure you read and follow the instructions. Put the ballot in the small envelope. Don't be caught out there naked. Then put the whole thing in the big envelope and sign it. That's the only way it will count. Remember, the other side would not be trying so hard to stop you from voting if they weren't so scared of what your vote could do. Don't let them take away your vote. Don't let them take away your voice. Philadelphia, we have the power to put an end to this nightmare. If we win this state, then Donald Trump will be gone. And Joe Biden will be the next president of the United States. This is more than an election. As Joe says, it's a battle for the soul of our nation. And together, with our voices and with our votes, we will win. I want to introduce a very special guest tonight. He flew up from Florida. He's been campaigning all over the country. We did a beautiful song together for a film called Selma, which celebrated the great work of people like Dr. Martin Luther King and John Lewis and all of those who marched for voting rights, marched for the rights that we're all going out there to secure. I want to invite my friend Common to the stage. One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours, it will be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory, glory, glory. Oh, glory, glory.
Hands to the heavens, no man, no weapon formed against. Yes, glory is destined. Everyday women and men become legends. Sins that go against our skin become blessings. The movement is a rhythm to us. Freedom is like religion to us. Justice is juxtaposition in us. Justice for all just ain't specific enough. One son died, the spirit is revisiting us. True and living in us. Resistance is us. That's why Rosa sat on the bus. That's why we walk through America with our hands up. When it go down, we woman and man up. They say stay down, and we stand up. Shots, we on the ground, the camera panned up. King pointed to the mountaintop, and we ran up.
One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours, it will be ours.
Soul of a nation.
Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory, glory, glory. Oh. Now the war is not over, victory isn't won, but we'll fight on to the finish. Then when it's all done, we'll cry glory, oh glory, oh glory, oh glory. We'll cry glory,
now for every man, woman, and child. Even Jesus got his crown in front of a crowd. They march with the torch, we gon' run with it now. Never look back, we done gone hundreds of miles. From dark roads, heroes, to become a hero. Facing the League of Justice, his power was the people. Enemy is lethal, a king became regal. Saw the face of Jim Crow under a bald ego. The biggest weapon is to stay peaceful. We sing, our music is the cuts that we bleed through. Somewhere in a dream he had an epiphany. now we right the wrongs in history. No one can win a war individually. It takes the wisdom of the elders, young people's energy. Welcome to the story we call victory. The coming of the Lord, my eyes have seen the glory. One day,
with the glory comes,
America, one day,
it will be ours.
The day is now. The soul of a nation.
Oh,
one day,
when the war is won, we will be sure. We will be sure.
God be the glory. Vote tomorrow, everyone. The Spirit of the Most High God. We act in love for one another.
When the war is won, when it's all said and done, we'll cry glory. Oh, glory. Oh. Thank you.
Tryna rain on the thunder. Tell a storm I'm new. I'm a walk, I'm a march on the regular. Painted white flags blue. Lord, forgive me, I've been running blind in truth. I'm a rain on this bitter love. Tell the sweet I'm nude. I'm telling these tears go and fall away, fall away. Oh, may the last one burn into flames. Freedom, freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose. Yeah. Freedom, freedom, where are you? 'Cause I need freedom too. I break chains all by myself. Won't let my freedom rot in hell. Hey, I'ma keep on running 'cause the winner don't quit on themselves. I'ma wade through the waters till the tide don't move. I'ma ride through your borders. Call me bulletproof. Lord, forgive me, I've been running blind in truth. I'ma wade through your shallow love till the deep I knew. I'm telling these tears go and fall away, fall away. Oh, may the last one burn into flames. Freedom, freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose. Yeah. Freedom, freedom, where are you? 'Cause I need freedom too. I break chains all by myself. Won't let my freedom rot in hell. Hey, I'ma keep on running 'cause the winner don't quit on themselves.
Ten Hail Marys, I meditate for practice. Channel 9 News tell me I'm moving backwards. 8 blacks left, deaf is around the corner. 7 misleading statements about my persona. 6 headlights waving in my direction. Come on. 5-0 asking me what's in my possession. Yeah, I keep running, jumping the aqueducts, fire hydrants and hazardous smoke alarms on the back of us. But mama, don't cry for me, ride for me, try for me, live for me, breathe for me, sing for me. Honestly, guiding me, I can be more than I gotta be. Stole from me, lied to me, nation hypocrisy, code on me, driving me wicked. My spirit inspired me like yeah. Open correctional gates in high desert. Yeah. Open our mind as we cast away oppression. Open the streets and watch our beliefs. And when they carve my name inside the concrete, I pray it forever.
Freedom, freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose. Yeah. Freedom, freedom, where are you? 'Cause I need freedom too. I break chains all by myself. Won't let my freedom rot in hell. Hey, I'ma keep on running 'cause the winner don't quit on themselves.
Is it true? You see, a father give me.
Think about it. There must be a higher love down in the heart or hidden in the stars above. Without it, life is a wasted time. Look inside your heart and I look inside mine. Things look so bad everywhere in this whole world. What is fair? We walk the line and try to see.
Please welcome the owner of Main Attraction Unisex Salon, Kenny Duncan.
How's everybody doing? Y'all can do better than that. How's everybody doing? That's what I'm talking about. I want to tell you a little bit more about myself so you can understand where my heart is. I'm not just a barber who owns Main Attraction Unisex Salon. I'm a God-fearing man who loves my family, and I love to be in business here in Pennsylvania. I want to share with you why this day is important to me. When I look at the opportunity to vote in, they say that this election is a battle of the soul of the nation. When we have an opportunity tomorrow to put more soul into our nation, that means a lot to me. My wife and I had the responsibility of training up our children the way they should go. But that can't be done alone because it takes a village to raise a family. One of the things I want you guys to know is that when my daughter had a chance to watch Kamala Harris at a vice presidential debate, she became an additional role model for my daughter. Let me tell you why. She handled that vice presidential debate with grace. If it's anybody that I want my daughter quoting, I want my daughter quoting Kamala and not Cardi. Excuse me, Mr. Vice President, I'm talking. When I look at but your children to dream bigger and to walk taller because of having inspirational individuals in office, individuals who are connected, individuals who have heart, who understand the struggles that we all go through as citizens within Pennsylvania, as citizens within America. When I look at the opportunity to vote elected officials in office, because it's not just the presidential election that we're looking at. We're looking at the presidential election and everybody else that's on the ballot. I'm going to give you an example. I want everybody to think about the government is just like any sports team. We cannot just have our star players. We need them. We need Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. But we also need to make sure that we have every other role player that's elected by us to be a part of that winning team. So I don't want you to forget, we do need our stars, but it's an opportunity to vote. You have an opportunity to vote for the rest of the team that's needed for us to win. Pennsylvania, we are a first-class state with first-class citizens. I need us to show up tomorrow in drones and show the rest of America how we can blow Trump out the water with a blowout. It ain't gonna be close. We need to be leaders in this blowout. I want everybody to understand what we're going to do. We're putting in leaders in the White House who are connected so that we can have allies in the White House. We can have individuals who have plans to support black and brown businesses in office. We'll have individuals who have plans to protect our health care in office. We have individuals in office that have plans to support HBCUs. What I need from all of us is to get out to vote. I need from all of us to tell others to get out to vote. I need all of us to make sure that everyone that we know is charged up with the right information and making the right decisions, put the right people in office so that we can truly win. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been given the privilege to introduce our new vice president. Can everyone give a round of applause for our new vice president, Kamala Harris?
There's so many girls, I hear you've been running from the beautiful queen that you can be becoming. You can look in my palm and see the storm coming. Read the book of my life and see I've overcome it. Just because the length of your hair ain't long, and they often criticize you for your skin tone. Wanna hold your head high cause you a pretty woman. Get your runway stride on and keep it going. Girl, live your life. I just wanna be myself. Don't sweat, girl, be yourself. Follow me, follow me, follow me. Girl, be yourself. That's why I be myself. And I grew to love it. Let them get mad. They gon' hate anyway, don't you get that? Doesn't matter if you're going wrong with their plan. They'll never be happy cause they're not happy with themselves. What would you got? I'm talking about things that I know.
Hello, Pennsylvania. Are you ready? Joe's here. Jill's here. Doug's here. You are here. We are here. And we are here to bring this election home. But we got one more day. That is it, one more day. And I'll tell you, Joe and I are just so grateful for your support, for your prayers, for your love, for your time, volunteering, making calls, for your trust in us, and for your vote. And as we head into tomorrow, I know we are empowered. We are optimistic about our future. We know the strength of unity. We know the strength of America. You know, when Joe asked me to join this ticket, saying yes was an easy decision. He and I, we come from different backgrounds, but we were raised with the same values: hard work, honesty, decency, a belief that we all have a responsibility to look out for one another. And those are the values I've seen as I've traveled across our country over the past 84 days. The values we share as Americans. Across our country, you can feel that something is happening. In big cities and small towns, wearing masks and socially distancing, I have seen people lining the streets and gathering on corners to show their support. They're bringing the children, holding up signs, wearing their colors, and strolling to the polls. And waving the red, white, and blue. The energy out there is real, and it is inspiring. In this battle for the very soul of our nation, we have seen what can be, unburdened by what has been. We have seen who we are, and a willingness to fight for the country we love. And that is why I know that tomorrow we are going to elect Joe Biden, the next President of the United States of America. So, while we're on the subject, tell me, how many of you have already voted? Ah. Honk if you voted. And if you haven't voted, go to iwillvote.com and find out when and where you can vote tomorrow, because there is still almost 24 hours that we have got to get this done. And honk if you have been sending texts and making calls to get out the vote. Because we all know from the time the polls open tomorrow morning until they close, every minute counts. So we cannot let up, because it ain't over till it's over. And everything is at stake. Our health, our economy, our children's futures. A woman's right to make decisions about her own body. A criminal justice system that treats all people with dignity and equally under the law. A Supreme Court that advances the legacy of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, that lives up to the phrase above its entrance, equal justice under law. The kind of country we want to be. That's what's at stake. It is all on the line. This is the most consequential election of our lifetimes. And the decision we make will, without any question, last for generations. And I'll tell you, as I travel around, one of the biggest issues on everyone's mind is the pandemic that is ravaging our country. And remember, back in January, Donald Trump knew just how bad the coronavirus was, that it was deadly and airborne. But what did he do with that information? He looked straight into the cameras at the American people and lied about it. He covered it up. Now, can you imagine what you would have done if you had known on January 28th what he knew? What you might have done, what your family might have done to prepare? Can you imagine how our businesses, how our schools might have been able to prepare? How we as a country might have been able to prepare? But Donald Trump doesn't think about what's best for America. He only thinks about what is best for himself. And as a result, we have lost 230,000 lives to COVID. So many people forced to die alone because of the nature of this virus. 230,000 Americans. The last time we experienced loss like this was World War II. In addition, we're looking at over 9 million people who have contracted the virus, and we know it's hitting communities of color the hardest. Latinos are contracting COVID at 3 times the rate of others. Black folks are dying at twice the rate of others. And let's be clear, we are also in the worst economic crisis we have faced since the Great Depression, because Donald Trump failed to contain this virus. He failed to lead. 23 million people are receiving unemployment. 1 in 5 mothers with a child under the age of 12 is describing her children as being hungry in America. In 1 in 6 households, folks are behind on their rent and concerned they may not be able to pay rent. 1 in 4 small businesses have closed. And yet, 9 months into this pandemic, this president still doesn't have a plan to contain it. We have witnessed the greatest failure of a presidential administration in America's history. And on top of it all, President Trump is in court right now trying to end the Affordable Care Act and take health coverage away from over 20 million Americans. He's trying to end protections for the over 100 million Americans with pre-existing conditions. Conditions like asthma, diabetes, high blood pressure, or cancer. Honk if you know somebody, raise your hand if you know somebody with diabetes or high blood pressure or asthma or breast cancer. Because this fight includes a fight for them. America, we cannot afford 4 more years of Donald Trump. And the first thing Joe and I will do when we are in the White House is get this virus under control. We will listen to the scientists and public health experts. We will provide free testing and treatment, and when it is available, a safe vaccine for all. We will provide schools with the guidance and resources they need to reopen safely, and we will build back an economy that actually works for working people. And let me be clear, Joe and I will not increase taxes on anyone making under $400,000 a year, period. We will ask the super wealthy and biggest corporations to pay their fair share. And we'll invest those tax dollars to rebuild our nation's infrastructure, to tackle the climate crisis and create millions of good-paying union jobs, make childcare more affordable, and invest in our nation's schools and in our nation's teachers. We will build on Obamacare and expand access to health care to tens of millions of Americans, including expanding mental health care, because we understand the body doesn't just start from the neck down, it includes the neck up, and it deserves the health care that all people need. And we will lower prescription drug costs and protect and expand Medicare and Social Security. And we will work to root out the systemic racism that still exists in our criminal justice system. And we will confront, not condone, white supremacy. And fight for economic justice, no matter your zip code or your race. In Pennsylvania, we will begin the work of healing and repairing and uniting our nation, Democrats and Republicans and independents and people of all races and all backgrounds. Because we know that's how we've always overcome our greatest challenges, together. And you know, Joe gets that. Joe understands that. You see, Joe is a leader who understands what the American people are going through. He sees us, and he understands suffering because he has experienced so much of it himself. Joe Biden is a leader of both strength and empathy, toughness and humility. He understands that the measure of a person's strength is not based on who you put down, it's measured based on who you lift up. And he knows that no matter where we come from or where we live, no matter your race, gender, background, or faith, no matter how we identify or who we love, no matter the language your grandmother speaks, what we have in common is so much stronger than what divides us. And that is the kind of leader America needs right now. And that is why, Pennsylvania, we must win this election. So remember this, your vote is your voice, and your voice is your power. And don't let anyone ever take your power from you. Now is the time to stand up. Now is the time to speak out. And now is the time to vote, and vote like our lives depend on it, because they do. So, our democracy is always going to be as strong, America. Our democracy is always going to be as strong as our willingness to fight for it. And in this election, let's vote like our democracy depends on it. Vote like justice, equality, and opportunity, decency, character, and dignity are on the ballot, because they are. And one day, One day, our children and our grandchildren and others, they will look us in the eye, each one of us, and they will ask us, what did you do at that moment? And I want to be able to say, we did everything we could to fight for our country and their future. So let's do that. Let's vote, and vote with conviction and confidence and hope. And let's elect Joe Biden, the next president of the United States. Thank you. May God bless you, and may God bless America.
There's so many girls I hear you've been running from the beautiful queen that you can be becoming. You can look in my palm and see the storm coming. Read the book of my life and see it overcoming. In this whole world, what is fair? We walk the line and try to see, falling behind what could be. Oh, bring me a higher love.
I know, it's cold out. You all came out in the cold, but you know what? Tonight, I'm taking my gloves off. Gloves off, because it's a fight. It's a fight for what you believe in. This is a fight for what you stand for. And you know what? This is not political. This is not red or blue. This is about people. This is about heart. And I know people in Pennsylvania. I used to live here. Joe's from here. You got a lot of heart. This is not a shallow people. And I'm gonna sing this song, hoping that this whole state can hear me. Pennsylvania, I'm gonna sing so loud. Tell me something, girl. Are you happy in this modern world? Or do you need more? Is there something else you're searching for? I'm falling. In all the good times I find myself longing for change. And in the bad times I fear myself. I'm off the deep end, watch as I dive in. I'll never meet the ground. Crash through the surface where they can't hurt us. We'll fall from the shallow now. In the shallow, in the shallow, in the shallow, we're far from the shallow now. And I'd like to sing this to everybody else, because you know what? No matter who wins tomorrow, we're going to have to do this together. Tomorrow's got to be peaceful. Tell me something, boy. Aren't you tired trying to fill that void? Or if you're gonna vote tomorrow. Come on!
In all the good times I find myself a longing for a change. And in the bad times I fear myself.
Do you know this one? You wanna sing it with me right here? Who's off the deep end? Who's off the deep end that Joe Biden needs to be president of this country? Are you ready? Come on, put your hands up. Ready? Let's sing it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm off the deep end, watch as I die, and I'll never meet the ground. Go on and fall, crash to the surface, where they can hurt us. We're far from the shallow now. In the shallow, in the shallow, in the shallow.
Let's pray that real soon we're gonna be far from the shallow.
We're far from the shallow now.
I love you so much. I'm gonna tell you something. Joe, I've known Joe for a long time. I remember when I was hanging out with him one day and I was like, so, you're gonna run for president, right? And we had a little talk and then he did it. But I was like, listen, we need you. Because we needed somebody that was gonna bring us all together for this moment, for this very important moment. And it's gonna be very clear that what this country is tomorrow. So you gotta go out and vote. And if you know people that wanna vote, but like they don't wanna, they're not, get them there, okay? Now listen. Did you all know I used to live here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania? Now, okay, listen, anybody here from Lancaster? Ooh, okay, well, I was engaged to a man from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I know, it didn't work out. I was so, I loved him so much, it just did not work out. But I still love my Pennsylvania guy, I love Joe. So Joe's my new Pennsylvania guy. And I love nothing more than this moment, for this time, for you and I.
It's been a long time since I came around. Been a long time, but I'm back in town. And this time I'm not living without you.
I'm not leaving without your vote tonight, you know that, right?
You taste like whiskey when you kiss me. Oh, I'd give anything again to be your baby doll. And this time I'm not living without you. I said, sit back down where you belong, in the corner of my bar with your high heels on. Sit back down on the couch where we made love the first time, and you said to me, come on, put your hands up, ready? 1, 2, 3, something about this place.
You love this place, don't you? Come on, cheer for it.
Something about lonely nights and my lipstick on your face. Something about my cool Pennsylvania guys. Yeah, something about Joe, you and I. It's been 2 years since I let you go. I couldn't listen to a joke or rock and roll, and muscle cars drove a truck right through my heart. On my birthday you sang me Neil Young, Heart of Gold, with a guitar humming and no clothes. And this time I'm not living without you.
And I put some country clothes on the other day and said I was
because I wear Cabela's when I'm on a four-wheeler in Pennsylvania, and I will not be told what I can and cannot wear to endorse our future president. So this is what I have to say about that. I might not always look like you, but I am you. We are each other. Sit back down where you belong, in the corner of a bar with your high heels on. Sit back down on the couch where we made love for the whole damn country. Something about this place, the beautiful countryside. Something about lonely nights and my lipstick all over your face. Something about my cool Pennsylvania guys. I'm not kidding, we need every single vote, and I'm gonna keep saying it. So put your hands up for Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania, PA, I love you. You and I, hands up, come on. You and I, baby, I'd rather die without you and I. You and I, baby, I'd rather die. America without you and I. You and I. It's been a long time since it came around. And, you know, to my boyfriend that's here tonight, I'm so sorry I had to do the whole Pennsylvania and I dated a guy here thing. I love you so much. But it's true. It's been a long time, but I'm back in town. And we're counting on y'all tomorrow, okay? And I know the good-hearted people here, and my grandma, my whole family's in West Virginia next door, okay? I know what this is. This is love. And this time I'm not leaving. This time I'm not leaving. I'm not living without America. I love you. I pray for you tomorrow. Let's win this. Pennsylvania, go blue. Without you. I love you so much. Put your hands up, Pennsylvania. For Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. 2020's gonna change for 2021. Let's vote Trump out.
Business Agent for Laborers Union Local 1058, John Duffy.
I'm so glad you're trying again.
on trying until I reach the highest ground.
What's going on, Pittsburgh? Hey, good evening, everyone. My name's John Duffy. I'm 4th generation Union Strong here in Pittsburgh. But today, there are 300,000 fewer jobs in the state than when Barack Obama and Joe Biden left office. He campaigned in Western Pennsylvania in 2016, promising major infrastructure bill. Infrastructure made with American steel right here in Pittsburgh. But he never even really tried to deliver. Instead, he spent his time giving tax breaks to Wall Street and the super wealthy while undermining unions and leaving working families behind. And from the highest office in the world, he has fanned the flames of racial tension, putting the lives of so many people that look like me in danger. We cannot go on like this. We cannot stand for a president who thinks it's fine to keep workers down so long as the numbers on the stock market keep going up. We cannot keep waiting to hear what he will say next to deepen the racial division that is in this country. We need to stand up and elect the only candidate in this race who shares the values of working people and will empower us to succeed. That's Joe Biden. Joe understands the struggles that working communities face because Joe is one of us. He's from Pennsylvania. Scranton's not that far away. He grew up in a working class family. The values that Joe learned in Scranton, hard work, toughness, empathy, are the same values that he carried throughout his life as a public servant. And they're the same values that he's going to take with him to the White House. As president, Joe's going to help communities recover from the coronavirus and then put working people in Western PA and across this country at the center of the effort to build back a better economy. He's going to create millions of good-paying jobs. And as president, he will encourage unionization and collective bargaining because he knows that workers and unions, not Wall Street, built this country. Joe is going to work to ensure that all people, regardless of their race, who they love, or what they do for a living, are treated with the equal amount of dignity and respect. We are now a matter of hours away, guys, from the end of this election, and the work that we do tomorrow will determine whether we put a champion for the working class people in office or we continue to be pushed around by President Trump. See, to me, guys, the choice is easy. So tomorrow, let's get a plan, let's go out, and let's vote. And let's vote for Joe Biden. Pittsburgh, help me in welcoming the next president of the United States, Joe Biden.
I'm Joe Biden's husband and Lady Gaga's friend. We go back a while. One thing I wasn't going to say, but I'll say it now. She spent a lot of time helping me with the Violence Against Women Act and helping so many women who needed help. God love you. You're wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Folks, John, thanks, old buddy, for sharing your story. And thanks to Mr. Mayor. I don't know where you are, I can't see out here, but I tell you what, thanks for the passport into town. And thanks for all the speakers we heard tonight, as well as the incredible, as I said, Lady Gaga. I don't know whether you could couldn't see, but all my grandkids were over there, Lady Gaga, and when you were singing, they knew every word of every song. They were jumping and moving. I gotta get a picture with them. Anyway, my buddy Congressman Mike Doyle, Governor Tom Wolf, thank you for standing with me and fighting for the dignity of working people. Everyone you've heard from across the state, as well as in Philadelphia, we hear you loud, we hear you clearly. Congressman Boyle, been with me a while, remarkable, great friend, a friend of his family. We grew up, his dad and I grew up 5 blocks away from one another in Scranton. Bobby Casey, Patti LaBelle, and John Legend. My Lord, John, I'm voting for you after I heard that speech you made. Look, and the second future gentleman, Doug. Doug, God love you, you're a good man. And I want to thank the next Vice President of the United States, woman I am so proud to be running alongside of, Kamala Harris. Look, I know as a Scranton boy and then raised on the border of southern Pennsylvania and Claremont, Delaware, I know it's not always easy to bring western and eastern Pennsylvania together. But you know what? The Steelers got a big win yesterday and the Eagles got a big win last night. So we can both be happy. And folks, I have a feeling we're coming together for a big win tomorrow. My Lord, there's a lot of you out here in this cold night. Thank you. And by the way, in the parking garage, don't jump. I need you. Don't jump. Folks, look. 18 months ago, we kicked off the campaign at Teamsters Local 249 right here in Pittsburgh. I chose Western Pennsylvania for my first stop as a candidate, and now for my last stop before Election Day, because you represent the backbone of this country. Hard-working families. We're asking nothing but a fair shot, an even chance. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things. The qualities that built this country, that created and sustained the middle class. And by the way, as I said twice earlier today, unions built the middle class. Look, we've been through a lot in this country since we announced. America's facing a confluence of crises unlike anything in living memory. We're still in the battle for the soul of America. Decency, honor, respect. Where has it gone with this president? Well, let me tell you something, folks. Tomorrow's the beginning of a new day. Tomorrow, we can put an end to a presidency that has left hard-working Americans out in the cold. Tomorrow, we can put an end to a presidency that has divided this nation and fanned the flames of hate. Tomorrow, we can put an end to a presidency that has failed to protect this nation. Ladies and gentlemen, millions of Americans have already voted. Close to 100 million. And millions more will vote tomorrow. And my message to you is simple. The power to change this country is in your hands. In your hands. I don't care how hard Donald Trump tries. There's nothing that's going to stop the people of this nation from voting. Period. And when America votes, America will be heard. And America's heard. I believe the message will be loud and clear. It's time for Donald Trump to pack his bags and go home. I honestly, God, believe the vast majority of Americans are done with the chaos, the corruption, the failure, the irresponsibility, the indifference to American lives, the indifference to America's dignity. We've got a lot of work to do. Not division and distraction, but real healing of this country. If you elect me your president, I'm going to heal this country, and we're going to act. We're going to act to get COVID under control beginning on day one. action a plan I've been talking about for months. Masking, social distancing, testing, tracing. A plan for full and fair and free distribution of therapeutics and the vaccine when it comes. Imagine where we could be if a president only wore a mask from the beginning instead of mocked it. I can tell you this, as every expert will tell you, we wouldn't have 9 million COVID cases in this nation. We wouldn't have over 230,000 deaths, nearly 100,000 cases nationwide. Just 2 days ago, we wouldn't be facing another 200,000 predicted deaths in the next few months. That's what the experts are telling us. We don't change. 200,000 more people will die by the end of the year. The president knew in January, as Kamala said, that this virus was deadly. But he hid it from the American people. He knew it was worse than the flu, but he lied to us. He knew it wasn't going to disappear. He kept telling us a miracle was coming. It'd be over by Easter. Last Friday, he had the gall to suggest that America's doctors, who've been in the front lines of this crisis for 9 months, along with the nurses and so many other first responders, he suggested those doctors were falsely inflating the deaths due to COVID because they wanted more money. For God's sake. No, I really mean it. Think about it. Our frontline healthcare workers, they've suffered and sacrificed for 9 months. And this president is questioning their character, their integrity, their commitment to their fellow Americans. It's a disgrace. And last night, Trump went on to say he was going to fire Dr. Fauci. Well, I've got a better idea. Let's fire Trump and I'll hire Fauci. Think about it. Look, Donald Trump has waved the white flag of surrender. Remember he said, I'm the commander-in-chief and I'm going to fight this fight. Give me a break. He waved the white flag of surrender. I'll never surrender. We're going to beat this virus. We're going to get it under control. And the first step to beating this virus is beating Donald Trump. Folks, well, let me tell you something. Donald Trump keeps telling us what a great jobs president he is. As we say in my faith, bless me, Father, for his, jobs president. Here's the truth. Donald Trump is going to be the first president in 90 years. That's a lot of presidents. The first president in 90 years to finish his term in office with fewer jobs than when he started. An independent analysis, not from some liberal think tank, but by Moody's, a Wall Street firm, projects that my plan will create 7 million more jobs and $1 trillion more economic growth than anything the president has proposed. Folks, we can do this. I'm going to end Trump's tax loopholes that incentivize companies to ship jobs overseas. That's why there's not as many jobs here. I'm going to add a 10% surtax on any company that ships jobs overseas. But companies who invest in American manufacturing, bring jobs back, will give them a 10% tax credit. And by the way, the President of the United States awards about over $600 billion of contracts a year because of everything from building aircraft carriers to all that we do, all the government spends. I promise you this, it violates no trade agreement. There will be no government contracts given out on my watch that don't make all of their products here in America. The future will be made right here in America, in Pennsylvania. Folks, Trump sees the world from Park Avenue, from Wall Street. That's all he can see. Well, I see it from Scranton, where I grew up. I see it from Pennsylvania, and Delaware. Wall Street didn't build this country. Working people built the country. The middle class built the country. And unions built the middle class. My dad used to have an expression. He said, Joey, the only way you can deal with the abuse of power is with power. Well, the only outfit that can deal with the abuse of power of corporate America is union power. That's the only way it can be dealt with. And I warn you all, if I'm elected, you're going to see the most pro-union president in American history sitting in the White House. Look, I believe we should be about rewarding work, not wealth. Under my plan, as Kamala said, if you make less than $400,000, you're not going to pay a penny more in taxes. But finally, the wealthiest among us, the biggest corporations, 91 of which of the Fortune 500 paid zero in income tax, you're going to start paying your fair share. Why? Why should an iron worker, a firefighter, an educator, a nurse pay a higher tax rate than the super wealthy? Folks, and here's a good one. Why should you be paying more than Donald Trump pays in taxes? New York Times said he paid $750 in taxes one year. Guess what? When they asked him about it a little before that, he said the reason he only paid that is because he was smart. He knew how to game the system. Well, I'm sick of the wealthy guys gaming the system. Most are willing to pay their fair share. But let me tell you, by the way, he loves to talk about corruption. Oh, my Lord. He loves to talk about corruption. And you found out last week, he's the only president I've ever heard of has a secret bank account in China where he paid, according to the Times, 50 times more taxes in Beijing than he did in the United States. Folks, as my mother would have said, enough is enough is enough. Look, we're going to have to protect health care as well. Trump and the Republicans for the last 10 years have been trying like the devil to eliminate the health care plan. By the way, because of economic policies and so many companies going out of business, 10 million Americans have already lost their health care. And now Trump and the Republicans, they jammed through a Supreme Court nominee for one overwhelming reason. They want to destroy the Affordable Care Act. If they get their way, by the way, this is not hyperbole. By the way, guess what's going to happen? 7 days after tomorrow, they're going to be in the Supreme Court arguing to wipe out, root and branch, all of the Affordable Care Act. Well, you can say that again because a lot of people are hurting. I can remember as a kid growing up in Claymont in Wilmington in a 3-bedroom house, nice house, 3-bedroom split-level home with 4 kids and a grandpa. The walls were thin. I can remember one night my dad, I could hear him restless in the room next to us, talking to my mom and asking her the next morning, what's the matter? He said, your dad, we just lost our health insurance. How many people you know staring at the ceiling, wondering what in God's name are they going to do without health insurance? How many of them are worried like we were when our son came home from Iraq and was lying dying? I wondered what would have done had they been able to come in but for Obamacare and say, sorry, suffer the last months in the hospital in peace without your insurance, you're about to run your insurance. How many people do you know, and many of you, worry about it? Worry about your kids. Worry about what's happening. Well, if they get their way, 100 million Americans will lose protections for pre-existing conditions, including 5 million Pennsylvanians. It's wrong. It's wrong. Donald Trump, look, folks, being a great consumer of health care, I feel very strongly about this. Donald Trump thinks health care is a privilege. I think it's a right. I'll not only restore health care, I'll build on it. You can keep your private insurance if you have it, or you can choose a Medicare-like option. We're going to increase subsidies to lower your premiums and deductibles, out-of-pocket spending, surprise billings. How are you going to do that? Because Trump and his buddies are going to pay more taxes so you don't have to do more. And we're going to reduce, if it didn't sound so strange, I wouldn't even explain. You're going to reduce prescription drug costs by 60%. You know how? By making sure Medicare can negotiate with the insurance companies for the cost of drugs. We're going to make sure you keep the protections for pre-existing conditions. Meanwhile, you know these guys are for real, unfortunately. Meanwhile, Trump's announced what he'll do if he gets reelected with regard to Social Security. The actuary at Social Security has said if Trump were elected and gets past what he wants, it will bankrupt Social Security by 2023. Now, y'all may think I'm making it up, but just like I said, when Paul Ryan was the Speaker of the House, I said they're going to cut Medicare, I should say. And everybody looked, no. They tried to cut it by $5 billion right off the bat. Folks, these guys are serious. They've never fully supported these programs. I'll protect Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. You have my word on it. But folks, as we used to say in the Senate, if you excuse a point of personal privilege, there's nothing that has made me more angry about this president than the way he's spoken about those of you who have served in uniform. Losers and suckers referred to you. Our son Bo, his 2 children are with me tonight. He gave up his job as Attorney General to volunteer to go to Iraq for a year. He won the Bronze Star, the Conspicuous Service Medal. He came home with brain cancer. And guess what? He wasn't a sucker, he was a patriot. Like all of your sons and daughters. It angers the hell out of me, the way he talks about our veterans. Your parents, your grandparents, all have served. To the best of my knowledge, he's the first president of the United States who had 6 generals and admirals who worked in his administration, who since left, and said he was unfit to be commander-in-chief. Folks, that's why General Stanley McChrystal, the former commander of Special Operations, oversaw the Bin Laden raid. Admiral Bill McCraven and 22 other 4-stars endorsed me because they know I'll have their back. It's not happened before. Trump likes to portray himself as a tough guy, the macho man. Wouldn't you like to have a shot? Anyway, the macho man. When's the last time, and he says people listening because he's tough around the world. When's the last time you ever heard of a president of the United States literally being laughed at out loud by world leaders when he spoke at the United Nations? So much for listening to him. When's the last time a president of the United States met with the NATO leaders at the NATO summit, other world leaders, chancellors, presidents, prime ministers, and before they realized it, They're all making fun of him as he left the room. Folks, can you believe we're a president who acts like Vladimir Putin's puppy? Putin had put bounties on the heads of American soldiers in Afghanistan where I've been to many times. It's a rough area, man. But Trump has talked to him 6 times since then, and he's been afraid to say or challenge him at all. Donald Trump isn't strong, he's weak. This is a president who not only doesn't understand sacrifice, doesn't understand courage, physical courage it takes to be in uniform. Folks, we're going to support our military. They're the backbone and spine of this country. And folks, we have to vote to meet the challenge of the climate crisis. Donald Trump calls it a hoax. I call it about our health and the ability to create millions of good-paying jobs right here in Western Pennsylvania. We can combat climate change with American ingenuity and manufacturing, creating millions of new high-paying union jobs. Let me be clear. I will not ban fracking in Pennsylvania. I'll protect those jobs, period, no matter what Donald Trump says. But I tell you what, I will no longer fund oil companies with subsidies, period. Folks, we have to restore the backbone of this country, but we also have to unify it. Look, we're going to act to deliver racial justice in America. Protesting is not burning and looting. The violence will not be tolerated. But the protesters, a cry for justice. The names of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Jacob Blake, Walter Wallace, they're not going to be soon forgotten by me, not by anyone in this country. And they're going to inspire a new wave of justice in America. When I met with Floyd's family, when I went down to Texas, he has a little daughter, 6 years old. I was in the room and I knelt down to talk to her. She looked at me and said, "Mr. Vice President," she said, "my daddy is going to change America. My daddy is going to change America." Well, guess what? We also know that the American people realize we got to change. We also know that justice isn't just about criminal justice. It's about knowing that true justice is about jobs, building wealth for your families. No one should be working 2 jobs to stay in poverty. We need a minimum of $15 an hour minimum wage. And for people struggling, first-term home buyers, they're going to get a $15,000 tax credit from me. We're going to provide capital for young entrepreneurs to start small businesses. Provide free community college, which, by the way, costs a lot of money, $6 billion a year. We spend about that much money giving breaks on for racehorses. Folks, as well as free tuition for students attending state universities if they come from families making less than $125 grand. Folks, we can do this, Pennsylvania. In 2008 and 2012, you placed your trust in me and Barack. In 2020, I'm asking and seeking your trust again. I take nothing for granted. This is a battle for the soul of America. We have to win this. We have to win this together. Bring the country together. I'm proud of the coalition this campaign has built, welcoming Democrats and Republicans and independents. I'm running as a proud Democrat, but I will govern as an American president. There will be no red states and blue states. There will be the United States of America. I promise you, I'll work as hard for those who don't support me as those who do. That's the job of a president. The duty to care for everyone, the duty to heal. That's the president's job. So please vote. If you still have your absentee ballot, get it to a drop box as soon as you can, or vote tomorrow in person. Just make a plan and help get out the vote. The power is in your hands, Pennsylvania. And here's the amazing thing. Here's the amazing thing about this moment in our history. The character of the country is on the ballot. On the one hand, we're facing the biggest threats to who we are and what we believe, what we've seen in our lifetimes. But on the other hand, our future has never been more promising. I've said it many times. I'm more optimistic about America's future today than I was when I got invited and got elected as a 29-year-old kid. And here's why. We're better positioned than any nation in the world to lead the 21st century. In fact, our workers are 3 times as productive. We have the biggest economy in the world, the strongest military in the history of the world, the most innovative entrepreneurs. We're virtually energy independent. We have more great research universities out of which every major new change has come than all the rest of the world combined, literally. No nation in the world can match us. We lead by the power of our example, not just the example of our power. The only thing that can tear America apart is America itself. No one else can challenge us. And that's exactly what Donald Trump has been doing from the beginning of this campaign. Dividing America, tearing us apart, pitting Americans against one another based on our race, our gender, our ethnicity, our religion. It's wrong. That's not who we are. And folks, everybody knows who Donald Trump is. Let's keep showing them who we are. We choose hope over fear. We choose unity over division. We choose science over fiction. And yes, we choose truth over lie after lie after lie. Folks, it's time to stand up and take back our democracy. We can do this. We can be better than what we've been. We can be who we are at our best. The United States of America. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Got to make the world go round.